Right now, there could be a psychopath watching this video. Could it be you? Psychopathy, a fascinating and complex condition, is more common than you might think. In fact, about 1 in every 100 people is a psychopath. That's right, walk down a busy street and you'll likely pass several psychopaths without even knowing it. Now, before we go any further, let's clear up a common misconception. Not all psychopaths are criminals or violent individuals. Yes, some are, but many others lead perfectly normal lives, blending seamlessly into society. They could be your neighbor, your coworker, or even your friend. Chances are, you've had a conversation with a psychopath and didn't even realize it. Psychopathy isn't always about causing harm or chaos. It's a complex psychological condition that's often misunderstood. So how can we spot a psychopath? What makes them tick? Let's dive into the mind of these fascinating individuals. A psychopath's brain doesn't function like yours or mine. It's wired differently. This statement isn't just a figure of speech but a scientific fact backed by a wealth of research. The biology of the psychopathic mind is a fascinating realm of study that reveals a starkly different neurological landscape. One of the key differences lies in the amygdala, the part of our brain associated with emotions. It's like the brain's alarm system, alerting us to danger and helping us feel fear. But in a psychopath's brain, this alarm system is somewhat muted. The amygdala doesn't light up as much, leading to a reduced response to fear and distress. This might explain why psychopaths can remain cool as cucumbers while the rest of us would be in a panic. Then there's the prefrontal cortex, the brain's control panel, which is responsible for things like decision-making, social behavior, and personality development. Again, research has shown that this area is less active in the brains of psychopaths. This diminished activity could be why psychopaths struggle with impulse control and lack a sense of guilt or remorse. To better understand this, let's consider the infamous case of Ted Bundy. Bundy was a notorious serial killer who exhibited an eerie calm and lack of remorse throughout his trial. When his brain was scanned, it showed exactly these characteristics: a less responsive amygdala and a less active prefrontal cortex. It was a chilling confirmation of how these brain differences can manifest in real-life behavior. However, it's crucial to remember that these biological differences don't excuse or justify harmful actions. They simply provide us with a better understanding of what's happening inside the psychopathic brain. Just as a car's engine operates differently from a bicycle's, a psychopath's brain operates differently from a non-psychopath's. It's a matter of different wiring, different mechanics. But while we can easily spot the difference between a car and a bicycle, identifying a psychopath isn't as straightforward. Brains are different, but what about their behavior? Does this unique brain wiring manifest? Psychopaths can be charming, charismatic, and manipulative. They know how to play the game. Let's take a peek into the intriguing world of the charming manipulator, the psychopath who walks among us, seemingly undetected. These individuals are often glib and charming, with a charisma that draws people in. They possess a knack for making others feel special, understood, and appreciated. They're excellent conversationalists, and their allure can be intoxicating. But beneath this charming surface lies a stark lack of empathy. Psychopaths are often unable to feel the same emotional responses as the average individual. They can understand emotions intellectually, but they don't experience them in the same way. This emotional disconnect allows them to manipulate others without feeling guilt or remorse. They see people as pawns in their own personal game, strategic pieces to be moved and used to achieve their own ends. Now let's use the case study of the corporate psychopath to illustrate these traits. Imagine a high-flying executive, someone who's climbed the corporate ladder with an alarming speed. They're charismatic, they're persuasive, and they're seemingly successful, but behind closed doors they're manipulative and ruthless, using others to their advantage without a second thought for the consequences. They may lie, cheat, and steal to get ahead, all while maintaining a veneer of respectability and charm. This is the corporate psychopath. They're not the serial killers or violent criminals we often associate with psychopathy. Instead, they're the wolves in business suits, using their psychopathic traits to climb to the top. But it's important to remember that not all psychopaths are successful corporate executives. Many will use their manipulative skills in other ways, such as in personal relationships or to gain power and control in various social situations. They're chameleons, able to adapt and blend into their surroundings while subtly manipulating those around them. But it's not all charm and manipulation. There's a darker side to psychopathy. Behind the charm and charisma, there's often a chilling lack of empathy and remorse. The shiny exterior of psychopathy frequently conceals the more sinister traits that hide in the background. Visualize a world empty of regret, where actions carry no emotional burden. For a psychopath, this isn't a bleak dystopian story, it's their everyday reality. They traverse through life with an unattached indifference, untouched by the emotional turbulence that characterizes the human journey. A deeply disturbing aspect of psychopathy is the absolute absence of remorse. While most of us might lose sleep over a harsh word or a misstep, a psychopath remains undisturbed, their conscience as clear as a crystal lake. They are free from guilt, devoid of the remorse that tethers the rest of us to our humanity. This absence of remorse enables them to inflict harm on others without hesitation, guided by a cold, calculating logic. A real-life illustration of this is the notorious cult leader Manson. Manson's deceptive charm and leadership abilities, coupled with his apathy and rash behavior, demonstrate a prime example of psychopathy. His life is a stark warning of the potential threat posed by psychopaths. Shallow emotions, another ominous characteristic of psychopathy, mean that their experiences lack intensity and richness. While we might be moved to tears by a touching movie scene or feel a surge of happiness at a friend's triumph, a psychopath remains emotionally monotonous, their experiences as shallow as a puddle. Impulsivity, the inclination to act on a whim without considering the repercussions, is another defining characteristic. It's akin to driving a car with a failed brake. There's no stopping, no deceleration, only a ceaseless thrill ride that can culminate in devastating consequences. Psychopaths walk among us, hidden in plain sight. But now, after delving deep into their mind and understanding their traits, you might just be able to spot them. So, the next time you meet a charming individual who seems too good to be true, remember, they might just be a psychopath. Ever encounter a psychopath? We want to hear your survival story. Drop it in the comments below, and inspire others with your resilience. And if you found this video interesting, please consider giving it a like. Your support motivates us to keep creating brain-nourishing content. Thanks for watching and stay curious.